Greetings and welcome to the Supply Drop episode 43, a game podcast created by three people who knew there weren't enough podcasts out there. My name is Nate, I'll be your host. I'm joined by two other hosts, the first of which is Scott.
Hello.
Scott, who was your favorite wrestler as a child?
Jerry Lawler.
Is he Jerry the Beefcake Lawler?
No, it's just Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh, Jerry the King Lawler. I never watched wrestling, but for some reason, I think Thick spurred this question on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so what was so good about him?
Well, we had local wrestling. That's where Jerry Lawler's from, is from right here.
So before WWF, oh, really?
Yeah.
He was a local? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so he's a hometown boy.
Yep.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, the other voice you just heard, that's, of course, Thick.
Hello.
Thick, who was your favorite wrestler as a child?
It's actually, you were expecting John Cena, but it's probably Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, just like his ubiquity with the public. And do you guys remember his reality TV show?
No, but I remember his Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah.
But this show was kind of a mess. But yeah.
Was that later in the years, post?
That was after he was done. Yeah. You know how you gotta make money somehow, right?
Wasn't he a Jerry Springer type host or something like that?
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I thought it was like a Kardashian type show.
It was more of a
it
was definitely Kardashian-ish.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have the best favorite wrestler. Mine was Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
So, he's a classic. He's the only one who makes the color purple look cool, I feel like. Remember he had those glasses with the crazy jacket with the shoulder pads?
Yeah, all his get up.
Yeah, for some reason when I was a kid I'm like, that looks awesome, but whatever.
I think that's who it's supposed to appeal to.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
He looks like a cereal box. Yeah.
All right. In this week's podcast, guys, we're going to be covering the Diablo. No, shoot. What are we? Are we covering the Server Slam?
No, not anymore. We're done with that.
Yeah.
So I didn't write that. We're going to be covering video game topics this week. Yeah. An assortment. And before we get started, I want to remind listeners they can drop us a comment, question, or insult at the Supply Drop Podcast YouTube channel. Come check us out. All right.
Yes.
Scott, save this train wreck from further collapsing. How was your week?
It was pretty good. I did a fair bit of gaming, and one of the games I played was Starship Troopers Extermination.
Oh, I'm excited about this. Okay.
Yeah. It's an early access on Steam. It's PC only. Yeah. Thick, you want to
I'm waiting for the punchline.
No, it's great. It's a lot of fun.
I thought you said it was buggy.
It's very buggy. It's got a lot of bugs. What's you're setting me up for that.
I was waiting for that, but yeah.
But it had it's okay. You've guys seen the movie, right? I mean, if you've seen Starship,
I've never seen it.
Okay. Well, if you've seen the movie, this is the game. This is exactly what you want in the game. You drop, you get out. There's multiple objectives that you have to kind of do to get to your base. And when you get to your base, then you set up reinforcements and walls and turrets and towers and all this kind of stuff. Because then they just come out of the ground and roll you over. But there's hundreds of them. I mean it is fantastic. It runs really well. I haven't had any issues with it so far. It's an early access game. It's running better than some AAA titles that I've played, so far this year. But the greatest part of it is, you have proximity chat. So you hear these, I believe it's 24 players. You hear these 25 players. You hear these other players around you and your squad. And they say nothing but quotes from the movie constantly.
Oh, that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, so it is and it's everybody is just having a blast, but everybody's doing call outs, and it's very it's PVE. It's co-op, which I love co-op, and it's a blast. I've played just the main. I think it's called, I can't remember the name of it. It's basically just the main game, just the, build a base and do bugs and stuff. There's also another.
What's your favorite quotes so far that people have been saying?
Oh, what you hear mostly is a good bug is a dead bug. Yeah. Yeah.
Over and over.
Yeah. Is it over and over?
I like the one where they shout, "Do you want to live forever?"
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that one too. But yeah, everybody's just having a lot of fun with it. And again, it's early access, so it doesn't feel like it though. It feels like a full-fledged game. It's only $25. It's not very deep as far as like, locations and all this stuff, but you do have like weapon progression and upgrades, 3 different classes. I've only played 1 class so far because I'm trying to upgrade some stuff. It is. I recommend it. It's if you're a fan of the movie and know that kind of combat. I mean, the movie is basically just nobody does anything but throw a grenade and just shoot like 60,000 rounds out of one clip out of a gun into a bug. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what you get.
Scott, Thick, can I ask Scott 3 questions?
Go ahead.
All right. Question number 1 is this movie a must watch in 2023? If I haven't seen it, you recommend it?
I went back and watched it.
Does it hold up? Yeah.
Because of the game. And it does hold up. It's funny because a lot of the things that are in the movie back then, you were like, oh, wow, in the future, I guess, okay. And then now it's like, oh, wow, that was so, forward thinking, back in 1997. But
it's a pretty good movie. I remember watching it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't take it seriously. It has this, government corporate like undertone that probably was in the book or whatever, because the book I think was written in '82. But the cast is great. Everybody in it's great. Michael Ironside just completely makes the movie, and it's fun. It's a popcorn movie, and that's what the game is. It's a popcorn game. It's not deep. Right. It's not, but just it's a lot of fun.
I feel like I've heard that that the game Helldivers was kind of inspired by that.
I can
that
see
whole
that.
vibe.
Yeah, this is very
military.
Much. Yeah, it's very much a first-person Helldivers.
Right. So then you might enjoy it then.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that there is. When you shoot, I've gotten shot by my teammates, but it doesn't do.
Oh, now I'm
damage.
interested.
There's not a lot of damage, but it's enough for you to turn around and go, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Who did that?
Sorry, And nobody wants to shoot you and kill you because you need somebody else to be shooting these things.
The bugs are coming. Yeah.
Right. So it's not like you're just goofing around. You don't have time.
What happens when you get downed in the game?
When you get completely downed, you can respawn after like a 20-second respawn, or someone can get you up in a certain amount of time. But when there's an extraction, when you're done and the extraction ship is coming to pick you up, there's no respawns. So if you die and nobody gets you up, then you don't make it.
Oh, okay, that's cool. All right.
Is there a bonus if everyone makes it?
I don't know. I haven't been on one that everybody made it. Somebody always gets left behind, but you do get more XP obviously if you make it, so that you can apply that to your weapons and stuff. So, go ahead.
My last question is: do you think in a year from now this game's going to be relevant? Like, do you think there's something to this game?
I think there's something to this game if they add content, and I mean this is not something that's going to be mainstream. This is for This is a niche.
A niche audience.
They know it is. And the price kind of portrays that. But I think if they just add content to it, it can be. Yeah, I think it will. I think it.
I think maybe different objectives, right? Something like that.
Yeah, and it's just like anything else. It's kind of like Aliens Fireteam in a way, but honestly more fun. Mm-hmm. And maybe just because of the tone, because Starship Troopers is not a serious movie by any means, and the first Alien is very much a serious movie. So it just doesn't. It's just way more fun. It's just it has a much more potential for new things and utter chaos. But the building aspect to it adds a lot as well.
Okay. And I have one more question. I feel like I bring this up all the time with co-op games. Scott, I feel like I've said this to Scott specifically, and Scott always agrees with me. Is there ever a moment where you have to take a small number of players and go do an objective off location? Like, guys, we gotta trek 2 minutes away. We gotta do this, and then we'll be back to help you with the main base.
Yeah, kind of.
Or does it really?
No.
Or does it really keep all the players together?
It when you start off, you have to set up these pylons, and they're refineries. They're small refineries, and what it does is it takes it's some resource out of the ground and fills these tanks. So when the tanks are full, someone grabs the tank. Unless you're a heavy gunner, you can't shoot. So you grab the tank and then you take it to one of the bases, the small bases, and then you drop it off. And once you feed all of those, then you're able to go to the main base and like retake it. So you go to this like abandoned base, like in the movie, and then you're able to like build fortifications and all kinds of stuff. And then you have a timer that counts down to when the invasion starts. So yeah, there's could be 2 to 3 of these pylons that you've got to set up, and of course you want to cover the people that are carrying it, because if they have to drop it and shoot, then it just takes longer for everything to to go, to move along. So there are objectives where you want to communicate with your team, you want to let them know what you're doing, and apparently you can do all of that by just quoting the movie. But once you get all of that down and then go to the main base, that's kind of like the meat and potatoes of it right there.
Okay. All right. And I think this one is scheduled to come to console eventually, right?
Eventually, I'm guessing since it's early access, it's probably how well it'll.
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah, how well it's going to do on Steam.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I mean, it's I haven't had any problems having any bugs, like actual bugs. Graphically, it's fine. It's nothing to write home about. But it ran great on my PC, and I mean, again, it's much better than Jedi Survivor as far as
performance.
As far as performance and actual stability. So, but yeah.
I guess there's a benefit to focusing on maybe one platform. Now, I know PC isn't like one platform, but...
And I was, I'm getting, and I've said this before, but I'm getting kind of weary of the early access stuff. But I took, you look at the reviews, and of course, go look at the reviews. You will have to seep through a bunch of I'm doing my part. I am a citizen, from the movie, to actually get to somebody that's actually saying something about the game. But all of them were good. Yeah, all of them were like this. This is a blast. It's just exactly what I wanted right now, and
overwhelmingly positive.
Yes, overwhelmingly positive. So yeah, it's good stuff.
It's nice to be hit with a surprisingly good game.
Yeah,
as opposed to the opposite. Yeah.
Oh, I have a slightly opposite one.
Well, let me add one more thing if I can.
Okay.
Go for it.
I do recommend The Layers of Fear by Bloober Team, which I was a fan of that original game. I loved it. There's a new version of that coming out, I think, in the end of June, but they have a demo up for it, and it is an Unreal 5 demo on Steam. So, go check it out. It looks insanely realistic.
Really?
Yes, the detail and everything. It's very small. Like, the rooms are small, so the performance on a lot of PCs should be good. There's not like a big open world spaces or anything like that. It's in a house, But man, just looking at a phone and looking at a handle on a window, it looks extremely realistic. It's fantastic. So go check it out, and it's spooky.
All right. I like that. 2 positive news stories out of
right?
Scott.
Yeah. It's rare.
All right, Thick, can you bring us down back to Earth, or are you going to keep us up in the clouds?
No, I'll bring us down a little bit. Okay, so let me just start out that I did not play Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, I'm going to murder you, Thick. I am.
So you'll have to wait for more impressions of that later. I played a lot of Diablo 3. Just because I was coming off of the Diablo 4 high, and basically I got my character to end game, so now I'm just like going through the motions, right? But it's like I guess the reason why I'm not playing Breath or Tears of the Kingdom is just like it's just like a whole set of new systems that I have to get into right now, which I don't necessarily feel like it. Do you know what I mean? Like I know it'll be fun, it'll be great, but it's like I don't want to dive into it just yet. Like immediately.
You're waiting for that 60 FPS patch, aren't you?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, the Pro.
Right.
I'm waiting for the Pro.
The entire new system.
Thick, are you the type of player who, like, once you start playing the new Zelda, you can't really bounce around with other games? Like, you kind of have to commit to the meaty Zelda.
No, in a way, I kind of want to give it the time
Yeah.
that in place. Like, I don't want to just like play for a little bit, then go back to something else, play for a little bit, and go back to something
Right.
else.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got you.
So that's part of my reasoning for it. I mean, I think I put like a good 150 hours into the original.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild, and like I did that in pretty much like the launch frame of the Switch. I mean, at that time there wasn't much games released anyways, and like
Okay.
it's also like I think what was happening during that time. There wasn't much going on for the other consoles, from what I remember. Maybe
Right.
I guess Horizon Zero Dawn, but I wasn't
yeah.
interested in that.
Yeah. I'm reading online a lot that the new Zelda almost makes Breath of the Wild obsolete. I'm hearing that from a lot of different places.
A lot of people are saying that Breath of the Wild is the tech demo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I mean,
Which is awesome because I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because was it it kind of happened with Mario Galaxy 2 as well, because like that was basically a more polished version of Mario Galaxy 1. So
Right.
and both were highly acclaimed games. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like Overwatch and Overwatch 2. No, okay, maybe not.
No, maybe. Okay, well, we'll get to those a little bit later. But okay, what I did play that's overwhelmingly negative on Steam is Hawkins Reborn.
Oh,
Now,
I did too. Ooh.
You tried it? Yeah. It's
Not
just
for long.
yeah.
What's wrong with it?
So if you played the original Hawkins, like the original Hawkins was on like everything. I think it was on PS4, Xbox,
Yeah.
PC first. I loved it because of like how gritty and like heavyweight the mechs felt. Here, like it's basically not the same game, right? Because that one was PvP, the previous one. This one is all PvE, and like right now the game feel is just not there. Everything, it feels like I'm playing like a school project in a way. Now, not to dismiss that they did put in some voice work, and I guess I don't know. I guess they might have taken some assets from the previous game, but
The previous game looked good. I remember it was like impressive.
Yeah, it did look
impressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
but this one is not it. Unfortunately, I mean, hopefully it's early access, and this is not a great early access right now. But
Yeah.
maybe they'll eventually add the PvP again, because that's what a lot of people really are leaving the reviews about. They want the PvP back.
Oh, really?
This one, like, yeah, this one is they're doing PvE, but like you're a mech shooting like tiny soldiers, and like it's kind of weird. Like there's no impact to it. It's just like this little ant you're stepping on. And then like the mechs you're fighting against they have everything's like AI is really dumb. So
Okay.
there's no satisfaction in the game, unfortunately, right now.
Okay.
They can improve upon it, but it's kind of I have a hard time seeing it. I need to see it before it happens.
Let me ask you this question. I always think like there's a team making a co-op game and they're saying, okay, what is your one innovation to the co-op genre you're trying to do? If you were on that team trying to defend the new Hawkins, what do you think? What do you think they would say? Like, this is what we're doing differently. Can you say anything?
I mean, you're customizing mechs, but like you can have 2 different weapons per hand.
Right.
But right now, it doesn't seem like it really matters. There's like the standard power level grind in a way.
Yeah.
So like, does it really matter what kind of weapon? Because like the weapons do not feel different right now. But it could be I didn't get any fancy specific weapons. But yeah, there's no real differentiation right now, and that's I would say is part of the problem.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be skipping this one, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's a skip.
Yeah.
Skip for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know you played more Overwatch 2 because I saw you and I was thinking, I'm like, he better not be playing this when he has Zelda right sitting right next to him. But that ended up being true.
That ended up being a little true.
Yeah. Well,
maybe I played more because of the recent news. No.
Right.
Any case,
Probably
but
not,
yeah.
yeah.
No, that's all I played.
Okay. Well, I know you guys want to hear me say this name one more time. I played Enter the Gungeon this week.
Part 3.
Right.
Guys, I'm telling you right now, I think this might be the best game I've played since this podcast started.
Game of the year.
Game of the supply drop podcast era. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to talk about that. What I'm going to talk about is how sad I was, how disappointed I was in myself last week for having that PlayStation Showcase big talk, and I didn't bring it to the table. So I have a quick 5-question quiz.
Okay.
I want to ask you guys simple yes or no questions. You don't have to expound on your answer, but I want to get some answers down so then we can make fun of the loser in 1 week from now.
Okay.
Because Scott, you know me, I'm a PvP guy, right?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough that I should win; it's others must lose, right?
Yeah.
I get it.
All right, so hang on. All right, so I have 5 questions.
Okay.
Yes.
Question number 1. There will be 3 or more PlayStation first-party live service games at the show. Scott, what say you?
3 or more?
3 or more live service first-party games at the show.
No.
You say no.
I say no as well.
Thick says no. Both of you disappoint me, but okay.
I'm going to say 2, but,
Okay, that's your
3.
answer? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say
All right.
maybe 1 or 2.
All right. Question number 2. There will be a brand new roguelite game revealed during the showcase.
Yes.
That's my new favorite genre.
Yeah,
You're going to say yes. You're both saying yes.
Say yeah. They kind of love that one.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. That's interesting.
I think
So
that's a safe bet, I feel.
You just think a new roguelike is just safe? It's just safe?
Safe,
For
yeah.
PlayStation, yeah. I'd say it's safe.
Nah, give me a reason though. Give me a reason. They did Returnal.
Yeah.
That's why? That's why?
Well, no. I just think it's that genre
It's a hot genre.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it's a hot genre for indie games. It's a hot one for Japanese developers. It's a hot one for console players. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
How about one roguelite for PS Plus Extra?
and also, at how many are announced at every showcase? Like even if it's Nintendo or Xbox or whatever, there's at least one. So
all right, I thought I was being clever with this, but you both have convinced me I was not clever with that question.
Okay,
right.
that's...
Question number 3. Will PlayStation spend more than 10 minutes on PSVR 2 exclusive content?
That's no.
Ooh, yeah,
I'd say 7 minutes. 7 minutes.
Thick, you say no.
Yeah, I say around 7 minutes.
Yeah, I say no as well. I think that they've shown that, and they're going to show stuff for it, but I don't think it's going to be their focus.
And it might not be all in the showcase. I think it's just going to be spread across the summer.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
right.
just like, oh, here's some VR games coupled with this other stuff we're showing you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which will be
Yeah,
like
I know. During that announcement when they brought PSVR 2, I was like, oh, don't waste our time.
Yeah.
You know?
God of War VR.
Yeah, right. Question number 4. Will there be a surprise, brand new third-party AAA exclusive revealed at the show? Something we don't know about now, but it's going to be
IP? Or
Basically,
just
whatever formula they've been doing, but a different IP, right?
Ghost of Tsushima 2,
Yes,
something like that. Okay.
No, third party.
Third party. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Third party.
So like a new deal with Capcom. Like Capcom's making this new game. We haven't seen it before. This is the announcement.
I think that's maybe a safe bet. What do you think?
I say we'll get a remake. Yeah, we'll at least get a remake.
Okay, that counts. All right.
Does that count as a
new? No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would. Well, it's not. It wouldn't be a new IP.
Yeah,
I guess what's going to happen, it sounds like for sure Metal Gear Solid is going to be there.
Yeah.
Like I think, like I don't know if it was Andy Robinson or someone. Someone's hinting it, and I guess that would count,
was the
right?
rumor too? Maybe a remake of Castlevania or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
Okay.
I don't know. Was Castlevania? Was it no? Well, one of the Castlevanias, like one specific one. I don't remember which
Symphony
one
of the Night.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the big one, right?
Yeah.
All
And
right.
then no Bloodborne 2. No Bloodborne remake. Sorry.
No Bloodborne 2?
No, it's not gonna
So
happen.
we're just going to have to listen to the internet whine for it for the next year at least.
Yeah.
We should have prepared a bingo card for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have.
Yeah.
We should have. But I have
Showcase
My fifth question is the most important question, so I want you to take it seriously, okay?
Okay.
Really, really consider this. Will we see Jim Ryan's beautiful face at the showcase?
No.
No,
It's gonna
Scott.
be all
No.
games, and then it'll be a bunch of ASMR PlayStation graphics in the middle.
Yep.
Okay, all right. I'm now satisfied with the showcase predictions.
Okay.
That reaches the conclusion. All right. The next part of our show is it's probably our favorite part of the show, the listener feedback segment, right? This is where listeners of the Supply Drop participate in the discussion by going to the Supply Drop Podcast YouTube channel and dropping a question, comment, devastating insult. Yeah, let's go over to our listener feedback correspondent Vic and see what he has in store for us this week.
You know, I assume I missed this comment, and it basically says promo SM. That's all it says. I think it's spam.
Yeah.
Wait,
we did say, is that from
what? What's his name?
Cassidy.
Yeah.
Was it Cassidy?
Yeah, we talked about
we did say this, right?
No,
Okay.
Cassidy's our number one listener.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, we value Cassidy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot
Thank you for your patronage.
I'm going to put him in some credits at the end. It's just going to roll just Cassidy.
We should heart his comment. We did not heart his comment.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Make
I
him
thought I
feel
did.
special.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me make sure.
Yeah.
No, we did not heart it. I'll heart it right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. And then while you're hearting it, I'll do our sponsor of the week. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this week's listeners' feedback segment was brought to you by Theranos. Theranos, one tiny drop changes everything. We're excited to have this exciting new company be a friend of the show.
Yep.
It sounds like they have a lot of exciting medical advancements in the future.
Yes, it's the future for everyone.
Invest. I would say everyone listening to this, invest big.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's get to the drop, the segment of our podcast where we talk about the most intriguing stories of the last week. Scott, what intrigued you the most? What intrigued you most last week?
Well, we got a trailer for Lords of the Fallen and a release date. So again,
and a $250 collector's edition.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No. I did read about it, but I didn't see. Did they show it? I didn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it. There's a lot
like
of
a full
stuff.
suit of armor, like an actual.
Nah,
Okay.
it's more like a big figurine.
Jeez.
Yeah. But I'm like, no offense to the game, but who's gonna really buy that? Considering the first one wasn't the greatest.
It was okay. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
This is supposedly like a complete reboot.
It looks good visually.
It does look good. It's obviously a Souls game. We also got a release date of October. I don't think they have an actual date, but it is going to be in October. So it does look good, but the reason I brought this up is that this is the start of we're going to start seeing probably a trailer at least once a week of some game that has been previously announced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And leading up to, Wednesday on the 24th, and then later, for Xbox and things like that. So it's kind of exciting. I mean, we're not going to see anything new, obviously, that's just going to pop up out of nowhere. But seeing this stuff, it kind of gets you going, right? It's exciting. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, this is the game where they keep playing like old rock music in the background, like Ozzy Osbourne, right?
Yep.
Okay. I don't enjoy that. I
don't think it
doesn't mesh. It doesn't mesh.
Was it Iron Maiden? I think it was Iron Maiden.
Yeah, what song was that?
God, I can't remember.
I hear the melody in my head, but
Rime of the Ancient Mariner. No, it wasn't that one. I can't think back.
Maybe there was a few of them too.
There's when I was listening to that, there's a green haze that kind of blocks a little bit of that out. But yeah, it was a good trailer. I mean, for what they're showing, the graphics look great. It looks amazing, but for the game itself, I don't really know. I don't have the best track record.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't
really
know
know
much
much about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a wait and see. But again, it kicks off E3. That's not happening. What do we call it? I mean, it's not E3.
Summer of Love.
Game Fest at this point.
Game Fest,
right?
I guess. Summer Games. We'll just call it Summer Games.
There was more trailers this week, right? I'm trying to think because now you're telling me about that. I think Mortal Kombat, right? Did you see that one?
I saw that trailer.
Yeah, we did, and it's also kind of like a reboot.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 1.
Sequel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah. Like the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Thick, how did the internet react to that trailer? From my limited viewing, I felt like people didn't like it, and I was like, I thought, like, I mean, it was CGI. It was nothing but CGI, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, honestly, like, I don't keep track with fighting games, but
Yeah.
when you think
yeah.
about it, we have 3 different fighting games coming out this year.
Yeah.
Like all the juggernauts, right?
Pretty much. I think
Yeah.
Tekken,
Street
Street
Fighter.
Fighter, and and this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
What we need is a killer instinct too, right?
Yeah. Bring it back.
I don't think that one's coming back.
No, I don't think so.
No,
either.
probably
No.
not.
But who knows about Soul Calibur, right? Virtua Fighter. Well,
Well, I don't know. Let's see how this year goes. That might
Right.
it might be on the cusp of a new era of fighting games. Who knows?
Yeah.
I do
I'm
have
not getting excited. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was saying I have another quick story. But what were you going to say?
I would say I'm not getting excited until Power Stone 3 is announced. Then I'm back on the fighting game
I
genre.
like that game.
That game was cool.
I played a lot of that game. Okay, so I've got another one in Thick. This is actually for you. There is a new expansion for Power Wash Simulator. Have you seen this?
Is it the SpongeBob?
It's the SpongeBob SquarePants Special Pack. This is hard to say. 6 new maps, including locations from the shows, such as Conch Street, the Bikini Bottom Bus, the Krusty Krab, the Paddy Wagon, the Invisible Boatmobile, and the Merman Lair. And also features new character models and custom designed gear designed to help you blend into the underwater or just Bikini Bottom. So yeah, it's an underwater power wash simulator.
Did they get visuals of is there like a trailer for it, or
I
is it
looked
just
for
an
one.
announcement?
It's an announcement, supposedly in end of June or June-ish.
Okay,
but yeah, I
so
couldn't
is
find
it
anything
paid?
on it.
Do you know? Is it a paid one? Because they've been releasing free DLC.
There's
for a
no
while.
price on it, but they didn't say it was free. So this
Okay,
one might be
yeah.
paid. Sorry. So-
Yeah,
I know
that's
you're-
fine. I think it deserves it, right?
Yeah. It's a
they
power
released
wash
basically
simulator
2.
underwater.
Yeah, I'm curious at how it would look with SpongeBob. I'm not a SpongeBob fan, by the way,
Yeah.
but I'm curious how like that whole aesthetic would look underwater for Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah, I thought it was just an interesting mashup.
Yeah,
For especially to announce it during our summer games or whatever.
yeah, it's amazing. The game's getting a lot of support, and I'm hoping to see more of these zany kind of IP crossovers.
Yeah,
Does that game do surprisingly well on Steam charts? Do you guys know?
Yeah, I
It
think
does.
people it's
Really?
quite a niche in a way, but yeah, people really like the game. It's like I'm sure it's overwhelmingly positive, basically.
Yeah, okay.
yeah. It's kind
they
of
released.
Oh, go ahead.
They released 2 DLCs that were free. I think one was Final Fantasy. Like you can clean one of the Final Fantasy 7 levels.
Wow.
And then
That's
forget the other one.
crazy.
But yeah, they were both free, which is nice.
Huh.
Wow.
Huh.
That is pretty cool. Well, it's one of those games that's relaxing. It's not it's a I don't know what
It's
you
PVE.
It's PVE,
PVE.
yeah. It's got to be called something. I'm sure there's a genre somebody's made up
Could that be our PVE game?
No, it could not.
No.
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 No, I don't have the patience for that.
No.
But
I
that
would
was
need
it.
to-
That was my news for the week. I had to really kind of scrape the
I know.
bottom,
it's
scrape the
a little quiet,
bikini bottom
yeah.
to get that.
Yeah. All right, Thick. What about you?
Okay,
What?
well, in the beginning of this week, there is
Mhm.
news of, was it Tears of the Kingdom selling 10 million units in
Yep.
the first
Yes.
3 days. Basically the weekend. So, I mean, that's a third of Breath of the Wild sales.
Are there numbers on the actual Switch? I'm sure. I mean,
Isn't it like 122? I thought I read.
One.
You mean lifetime sales?
Oh, you mean
Well,
lifetime sales is 126,
I
I
just meant
believe,
for
or
the
8?
month. Yeah,
Not sure yet. I think it's too early to say.
yeah.
Thick.
yeah.
Thick. Is this going to surpass the sales of Breath of the Wild?
I actually don't know. I feel like if you play Breath of the Wild, not everyone's probably going to play this game because probably people still playing Breath of the Wild. But who
Right.
knows? I'd be amazed if it surpasses Breath of the Wild quickly.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
gonna say it will.
I would say it will too, because I feel like this is the type of game where 6 months down the road, you're going to see on Twitch streamers doing weird stuff with the physics.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that
I
was
feel like
Breath
that's
of the
just
Wild already. So was
right.
it? Breath of the Wild was 29 million, and this one's a
Okay.
third of the way there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's. Never mind. That's all I have for that one.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, because I had something I forgot. I lost my train of thought for it, but that's okay.
Okay.
Two other news. Actually, you could kind of make it three. Diablo Immortal is turning 1 in June 2nd.
This is a $1 billion. This is a $1 billion game, right?
I don't know.
I thought
probably.
they said it surpassed $1 billion in revenue, like
May-
pretty quickly.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe, but I'm just throwing it out there. I only read that recently because I'm looking at all this Overwatch drama. And also, BlizzCon is coming back. BlizzCon is coming back on November 2nd, 3rd?
2nd, I think. Yeah.
You guys have never been, right? Or never had interest?
I've seen some clips on YouTube.
Yeah. I used to go back all the way to 2015. That's actually when they showed off Overwatch. I was one of the people there playing at the booth, and they do you know the character Bastion, the tank, the turret one? Yeah, basically, I played him, and at that point, he still had a shield, protecting him.
Jeez.
So overpowered, but yeah.
And he was especially hard because you could turn around in a split second, right?
You just turn around and just gun people down with the shield protecting you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's expensive though. I don't think I'll go back this year, but
can you describe what the setup is there? When you're walking in, what's the format of the whole building?
It's basically it's the Anaheim Convention Center. I guess it's basically just one large, wide convention center, right?
So it's one huge room?
It's one huge room, and it's all separated by these stages. The main stage is where they do the opening, and then there's plenty of seats. Everyone's there. It's broadcast live or whatever, and they do it virtually too. And you have to pay virtually to see it. But eventually, it comes to YouTube, of course. And then right in the middle, there's maybe some statues where you could take pictures. Not really important, but it's there. It's nice looking statues.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of places to play games. There's an abundant amount of PCs just set up for you to just play any of the games that they are showing off. Now, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how many games does Blizzard tip? I feel like they have one upcoming game. I feel like they never have 4 new games coming out.
Yeah, it's been a while since Blizzard has a really good streak of games coming out. This year, I assume it's really for the current Warcraft fans. I don't.
No.
No.
It's
because of the last for basically Dragonflight fans, right? That's partly for it, and then Overwatch 2 to an extent probably. But we'll see what happens with that one. But this year usually they announce something around that time. I'm not sure what they will announce. There has been years like that of BlizzCon where nothing necessarily gets announced besides expansions or whatever. But I have no clue. Maybe the survival game. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. Scott, you kind of poo-pooed Overwatch, but that game's still popular.
Yeah, it's popular. I mean, it's just in the light of losing the PVE.
Yeah,
that was kind of the point of Overwatch 2 was that we were getting a PVE with Overwatch 2, and now it's just
okay. I'll get to the story right now.
Okay.
So
segue.
Okay. Yes. So the director Aaron Keller, which it used to be Jeff Kaplan, who was the original Overwatch 1 director. Yeah, everyone loved the guy, and I mean Aaron Keller has kind of a big shoe to fill. I mean, so I don't blame him. I wouldn't want that spotlight either. But basically, he came out this week to respond to the comments of the PVE being canceled. So last week they had a live stream. I think it was Aaron Keller in it, and then a couple other developers. and they just started off talking about the event they had, which was called Starwatch. But then in the middle of it, this is where they casually dropped that PVE was kind of canceled, and then everyone got pretty upset. So I mean, the director comes out and responds to it. Basically, PVE, the hero mode, which is basically where there's like a progression system for each hero. That sort of whole thing, that whole progression system is canned. But they're still saying the story missions are coming, but it's going to be like kind of piecemealed into the battle pass. And I guess
didn't they say it's kind of basically going to be like the story missions that were in, Overwatch 1? You know how every season they do.
Yeah, they say it's kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
They say they'll add more, but I mean, given what they've produced right now, I'm a little reluctant to see if it's any better.
Yeah.
But this is just kind of what's going on right now. Like he talked about how basically, how Overwatch was from Project Titan, right?
Right.
Project Titan was the MMO. They had to cancel it. He was talking about how they had a plan to basically kind of eventually get to almost an MMO style game for Overwatch, FPS MMO style. Basically, like the first Overwatch 1 was supposed to be where PvP was. Overwatch 2 was supposed to be where PvE was in what they wanted it. The hero missions is what was the main point of it in a way, and then eventually MMO again. He's saying. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, did he say what happened, like specifically?
So, if you recall in Overwatch 1, like at a certain point, they kind of just dropped support, right? They were putting all their efforts into Overwatch 2. He's saying that with the PvE mode, they kind of had, in a way, to summarize it and simplify it, scope creep, right?
Yeah.
So, and that was taking away resources from the live game. So, I mean, I'm sure there's more nuance to it and internally and more difficulties. Maybe the whole, work from home, people leaving, that might have something to do with it too.
Yeah.
It seemed to be timed around that time. Maybe they thought they could still salvage it. Who knows?
It sounds more like it wasn't going to be profitable. Like you're looking at numbers and somebody came along and was like, hey, what are we charging for this? And what is this? How much is the multiplayer making? And how much is this going to make us? And, budgets come out and get rearranged. And then, people are leaving. If you don't have them, it's
well,
it's quite possible. Yeah.
This game is now, I guess.
Doesn't an MMO require a ton of content?
Yeah.
It does.
Like that seems like
and a large
huge
staff. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I guess that's disappointing. I let me ask you one more question. So like when I think of like World of Warcraft, I kind of get I get the MMO, like what it is. When I picture picture Overwatch but an MMO, I don't understand how that could work. It seems too,
I think it's more like Destiny.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
All right.
MMO's definitions kind of changed a little bit because people call Destiny 2 an MMO. I don't call it an MMO, but
right. I guess my brain doesn't think it's an MMO either. But what would you say? How do the Destiny devs consider their game an MMO? Because there's more than in those shared spaces. There's like 20
people
random
walking
people
around. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's exciting.
All right.
Yeah. What is that? The Citadel? You got to meet everyone at the Citadel.
Yeah, like a little hub, and then you can look at their emotes and buy their emotes.
It's awful.
Oh, so Call of Duty World War II is an MMO as well.
Yeah.
Jeez. Wow. This is where we are now.
Right.
But yeah, any case, I don't think you'll. The people that the thing is like they once they announced Overwatch 2 is kind of like they couldn't peel back, right? Like.
Right.
We kind of see like with Redfall, like they didn't cancel the game, but they went ahead and released it, and you know what happens. So this is a company canceling something because they don't think it'll put together. Yeah. I mean, and it could be because it's not profitable, but
well, yeah. I mean, there's a reason that games get canceled. But this wasn't really like this isn't like a scale-bound situation. This is like a tried and true. IP that they were going to add single player to, and it got canceled. It's a little different. That there's a story there. I want to know what it is. I want to know what actually happened.
Right.
Because that's what I mean. There's a large group of people that are just make an animated show. Go with HBO or Paramount Plus or whatever, and just do the animation and have the.
I mean, that's pretty much Riot at this point. They've taken the mantle that Blizzard, dropped in a way.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. It's Blizzard's not what they used to be. I don't know if they ever will be.
Yeah, and I guess we might just have to accept that. One thing is, I'm still curious if the PVE they'll introduce in 2 seasons from now will be different than anything else they've shown. I think that's really what would be like the proof of what they've been working on. Hopefully, it's good. I play Overwatch 2 regularly, and I was pretty disappointed when the PVE mode that they had planned was canceled. Some people have said that they didn't see it being like interesting enough, and I could see that too, because you're just progressing a skill tree in a way, right?
Yeah.
That's like part of the main feature to what Overwatch 2 PvE was supposed to be. So hopefully something changes with it. We'll see.
Yeah, I know. You'll read comments online and a lot of people will be like, "Oh, Blizzard, they don't know what they're doing." And I always I'm always like, Overwatch built a community of PvP centric, a community of like PvP centric players.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't understand why we're like targeting those players for a PvE mode. I'm just like, those are 2 different groups.
I think they're really trying to bring in more people because people really
right?
like the universe too, right? Like, there's toys, there's a lot.
No, that's true. I guess I just think I just don't think PvP players care about I don't think they care about the characters. I know other people do, because I mean, it is quality. Like when you watch those shorts, those Overwatch shorts, there's quality there,
Well,
so
they did the same thing with Apex Legends. They announced that they were making like a single player game out of Apex Legends lore and characters, and the community went nuts over it. I mean, they were just like, "This is fantastic!" We've been asking for this for a while. So, whether they actually played it, we'll never know, because it also got canceled.
Right.
But yeah, I think that. I think when you invest that much into those characters and then in time playing that game, when it is like a hero shooter to some extent, maybe you want that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's a comment from I think GameSpot. They were talking about this, but you know how Riot kind of outsources some games with their characters? That maybe Blizzard should do the same. Like just have a small company.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like develop a story mode. Some sort of, lighthearted story mode. So one thing they actually did recently in one of their events was they had someone make a visual novel for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool to see them branch out. So I mean, maybe they can do something like that for a more beefy story mode. But I mean, they're still releasing some PvE content, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. You think Overwatch is going to be relevant in 10 years? I feel like Blizzard, they hold on to those IP, don't they? They nurture them.
I think they'll still be around.
Yeah.
In what form, I don't know.
Right. Netflix show.
Right.
Yeah.
Thick, bang up job this week.
Yeah, that was
bang
a good
up
one.
job. Yeah.
Should I golf clap?
You can golf. No, stand up and take a bow. Stand up, take a bow.
Okay. Well, what did you have today, Nate?
All right. So, do you guys have your chamomile tea ready?
I
because
do.
You're about to go sleepy time, because I'm about to read you a story. Okay.
All right. I'm tucked in.
All right. So last week, EA issued a press release saying the following. Okay. So get ready. They said, recently we have witnessed an increased harassment towards members of our development team, the official Battlefield social media writes. Quote, across all Battlefield studios, we are open to constructive feedback and criticism about our games, but to maintain a healthy and open dialogue with our community, we will protect our teams and people from toxicity and harassment. Quote, we believe that this has no place inside our game or within the Battlefield community. We want to remind players that through our EA user agreement and Battlefield community guidelines, We will take appropriate action to uphold these values as a community. We play the objective together. This press release was signed by multiple teams, including DICE, Ripple Effect, Ridgeline Games, and Electronic Arts. Okay, am I missing something? Like, I understand? Remember when Battlefield first came out? There's a bunch of toxicity around. Everyone's trashing that game. I kind of get the friction there because it's a new release to a high-profile game. What happened in May of 2023?
So, from what I understand, was it 2042, right?
Yeah.
Basically, they're only delivering what they originally promised with the game, and they're not continuing development past that, from what I understand.
So was that made public this month?
I think so. I didn't read it.
We predicted it too.
Yeah.
A couple of shows ago.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys think of that press release? Do you line? Are you team public or are you team like EA?
Oh, well, I mean, it just really depends on what they were saying, because this was like individuals were being harassed. Like, people were finding, names and addresses of these developers and harassing them, and that's ludicrous. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Right.
I mean, if you're doing that, man, go do something else with your life. But and then was it not followed up by EA, talking about Battlefield being reintroduced in a new and exciting way, and
right,
which we all know was free to play and monetized and whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of like a cherry on the milkshake there. But yeah, this isn't. This is just commonplace now, and it sucks.
Yeah,
this really does. These individuals don't make decisions that
right.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that's what they're addressing.
So you're siding with EA?
Well,
no,
I'm siding with like individual developers that just go to work and do their job and don't need to be harassed by psychotic fanboys.
I guess my brain goes to like, well, who decides what quote harassment is? Like, there's so many shades of, if you're harshly criticizing a game, is it harassment? If you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I don't like about this is, now I didn't look into it that much, but I didn't find anything where they're like, here are the examples of the comments that we're getting. They're just like, believe us, we're getting harassed, and just,
you know what I mean? I don't think they can do that either. They can't just say, oh, look at this.
No, other people have, other developers say, hey, check this out. Look what I got in my mail or whatever.
Right.
But, you might be right about
in
something.
In the company level, you can't do that, though.
Oh, no. I mean, the individuals were like, look at this guy. He says he's going to, cut my face off.
Right.
But DICE historically has been kind of like, you don't like it, don't play our game. I mean, with Battlefield 5 was not good. I mean, they did not handle that well at all. And I think I remember even a video or a shot of like a slideshow they were having at a private event, and it was talking about like how to get, like, it was showing a graph like how to get more money out of players and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And of course, Battlefield 5, when it came out, was not received very well. Mm-hmm. And one of the aspects of it is, I didn't agree with it, but one of the aspects of it was that, there were female players or female characters in this World War II game, which, a lot of women, there wasn't a lot of women on the battlefield in World War II. Mm-hmm. And one of the developers kind of snarkily commented on that as, well, what do I tell my daughter who doesn't feel included in playing this game? My 6-year-old daughter or something like that, And of course, everybody's response was, why are you letting your 6-year-old daughter play this mature title game?
Yeah.
But so they've been kind of just jerks about, those kind of things, like getting harassed or not liking, what's been presented to the people that play every game that they make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is this one of them, or are they actually getting harassed?
Yeah. I know I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. So you guys know, like I think all of us are fans of Lord of the Rings, right?
Yes.
Thick, are you? You like those?
More or less, yeah.
The story more or less. So the Amazon had Rings of Power come out, 6 months ago, and like I was excited for it. I wanted to see what it would turn into because I was a fan of the IP. I thought it was like one of the worst TV shows I've ever watched. It was all I could. I pushed myself to watch like 3.5 episodes, and I was just like, oh, I'm so done with this. This is terrible.
Yeah.
But then you saw a huge campaign being like, the reason why we're getting such poor reviews, like what they got review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes, is because we have like not evil, but bigoted fans who are
right.
They don't see what we see, and I'm like, I just thought that was insane to say that. But then you go on Rotten Tomatoes and you look up all the user reviews. They're just normal people who are like, this show sucks, right?
Yeah, it's not because you included people into the story. It's because your writers suck.
It's awful. It's horrendous writing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what I will say is, if you really comb through those pages of user reviews, on every 9th page, you'll be like, oh, okay, that person's he's a bigot, right? His review shouldn't.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then what they're doing is they're saying, we're being review bombed by bigots. And so if you don't like our show, you might be one of those people.
Right.
If you stop watching our show, you might be one of those people.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's just crazy. I'm like so anti like these big companies like kind of putting down regular people where I'm like, I just need to see proof in order to believe you. Because if I don't see proof, I'm not going to believe it. So that's kind of where I stand on it,
So public.
I'm Team Public.
There was something similar with the trailer for Star Wars Force Awakens, and where Finn takes off his helmet, and he's black, obviously, and there wasn't really an uproar or anything, but it was puzzling for a lot of Star Wars fans because it's like we thought stormtroopers were clones, clones of like.
I know nothing about Star Wars, and I thought that was the case too.
Right. So when he takes his helmet off, everybody's like, "What? Who is that? What is that?" And then so a lot of black outlets kind of took that as Star Wars fans being racist, and it's like nobody was being racist. We were just puzzled that
it's in the lore. It's in the lore. Yeah,
exactly. It's like up until we saw this trailer, because they all have the same voice and they all have the same TK number, and
right.
But it's their lack of understanding. The IP and the fan base is where you have that disconnect. The media itself is like, well, those people are obviously racist,
right? Well, and here's the thing too. It's like you could easily correct that in the movie by saying, "Oh, we have a small regiment where we just collect people from planet." Oh, they did. Oh, they did do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, they stole children and made them into stormtroopers. And
so they are bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, oh, okay, that's why. That's why they're all different.
Right.
So it made sense, and then nobody was like mad about it, but there's probably like that one guy that was extremely racist about it, and that's what they picked up on. I don't know, but and we see this in games all the time. It's the media picks up on things that they don't necessarily understand what came before that, and it's all out of context. So is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
With Battlefield? Well, with Battlefield 2042, yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you mind? Can I shift gears a little bit to support what you're saying, Scott?
Sure.
Neither of you are going to like this. So, again, sip your chamomile tea as I talk. But I started watching basketball again. NBA basketball, the playoffs started. So,
that's what the bats, right?
That's the bats and the spikes. Yeah. All right, but listen. So there's only 4 teams left in the NBA playoffs, right? So there's 2 playoff series going. The Lakers, who are like the biggest franchise in all of basketball, are playing the Denver Nuggets. And game 1, Denver Nuggets win. Game 2, Denver Nuggets win. Game 3, Denver Nuggets win. Right, so it's 3-0. It's looking like an easy franchise for Denver, or an easy series for Denver. After each game, the media narrative is like, oh, like the Lakers have figured Denver out. Like the Lakers are going to do this next game. Like it just the whole narrative is like, what are the Lakers doing wrong? How have they corrected? And everyone's just like, oh, the other team is the better team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's almost like the narrative doesn't matter. It's just like the narrative is what you like. Because here's what's smart about the media: they know what will get clicked on. They
yeah.
know the Lakers fan base is a huge fan base, so they like everyone wants to be like, oh, the Lakers figured the Nuggets out, even though they're down 2-0 or 3-0. You know what I mean? But it's funny how the media doesn't even care about like who they're going to click on our stuff and they're going to click on our next stuff. Like it doesn't, you know.
Yeah, that's IGN. Yeah. That's exactly what IGN does.
I mean,
with their stories like with Starfield, it seems like it's a redemption for Xbox, and if it's not good, then they're they're over.
Yeah,
like that's such a crap story. They know it is, and it's just feeding the narrative.
Right.
They're already reviewing this game, and it's not even out yet.
Yeah, I'm just so sad that so many people click on it. Then a percentage of people say, "Oh, this is garbage," and yet, like 3 months down the road, they're going to do another awful clickbait headline. Mm-hmm. It just keeps catching people, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. They'll just say like, "Oh, this is good now," or whatever. Something like that.
Yeah.
So off topic, but I had to look up what the mascot of the Denver Nuggets were.
Yeah, no, right.
I was like, Nuggets.
That could be anything.
Wasn't there a big gold rush in Denver in the mountains?
Yeah, I was thinking.
So the nugget is
gold.
I was thinking chicken nuggets, but yeah,
that's probably
that sounds more appropriate. Yeah,
but it seems to be like a mountain lion from what it looks like.
Oh, a mountain lion.
Like the mascot.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that makes total sense.
I don't know. I trust you. I trust you, Thick, because I've known you for a long time. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm the fact checker here. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let it be on the record that Thick has. What is the sound? The sound bar. The sound that you make.
What do I make?
You've used it once. You've used it once to a phenomenal.
There we go.
All right. All right. I think that just end our conversation there.
Yeah, that's the segue.
That's the segue. No, Thick, what you could be is in old timey like musicals or plays, they'd have that giant hook come out behind the curtain and they'd
the music would play and it's like you're done. Time's up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Thick, you could be the hook. You could do that.
You could be the Ricky Gervais of the Oscars.
Yeah. All right. So we have a big brain this week, and I think the big brain this week is Thick. Because Thick,
don't we have rumors?
Oh, we do have rumors. Oh, you guys, you really do like the rumors section.
Nate failed.
No, I didn't fail. I have 4 bad rumors this week, so don't get too excited.
All right.
Okay. Rumor number 1 for the rumor mill. According to voice actor Matthew Peretta, Alan Wake 2 will release in October of this year.
I don't see that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Is that what I'm supposed to say? Yeah.
Are either of you Alan Wake fans? Is this a franchise that matters?
It's a little clunky now, but I like what Remedy does. Like I really liked Control, and it's based in the Alan Wake universe.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked Control as well. I liked it a lot. I did not like Alan Wake at all.
Yeah, that's pretty archaic at this point.
No, I didn't like it when it came out.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I don't think the gameplay is that good.
No, it's not. It's terrible. Shine a flashlight at something and shoot it. And do that.
They just do that over and over
times. Yeah.
Really?
Basically.
But
it would have been a better TV show. Sorry.
Wait, it might become a TV show. I think.
I think it would be a great. I mean, the story's fantastic. I mean, it's very Stephen King-ish, and the setting is really cool. The character is kind of like likable then unlikable, and then it's just the game itself. I thought was not fun at all.
Yeah.
But do you believe in Remedy enough to where you're like, okay, maybe if they take a second crack at this franchise, they can kind of fix the fatal flaws of the first game?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think they could do what they did with Control. I think Control, because of, I guess it's overall critical success, maybe they'll apply it to Alan Wake 2.
Yeah. I'm more interested in the Control multiplayer game. Remember that
one? Is that still a thing, though?
I hope so. I hope it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to balance that sort of thing, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Rumor number 2. Jeff Grubb went on his Games Mess Decide show and said, quote, "I don't think KOTOR will ever come out." That's
I could see that.
You could see that?
Yeah.
Because remember a year or 2 ago, they handed off the game to a different developer.
Yeah, and it's Saber Interactive.
It's who they handed off to?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what kind of pedigree does Saber Interactive have?
They've got one game that they made, but it's a lot of remakes. They did the catastrophic Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition, which should have never gotten released. But they did also do the Halo 4 Anniversary Edition, which was fantastic. So it's kind of hit or miss. I'm still trying to think of what's the game that they actually released, and it was kind of okay. It wasn't stellar, but I guess it really we don't really know what this is. Is it a full remake, or is it a remastering, or is it, we don't really know yet.
Right.
I hope it's more like a Dead Space remake kind of thing, where it's just modernizing what's already there. But yeah, I could see this maybe just getting ditched.
Yeah. I feel like maybe if we don't see it on this Wednesday, it spells even, it's less likely to even come out than it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But should we move on to room number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Room number 3. Bungie releases yet another player survey asking players what they think of anime and live-action adaptations of the Destiny franchise. Do people care about this story?
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea. They do.
Oh, yeah.
They do. I know one time I asked Scott could he explain the Destiny story to me, and I forgot what he said. That's my story.
All the factions starts with the word "the."
Yeah, right. It's
like what?
It's the light versus the dark, with a lot of guns. How about that?
So those are 2 factions?
No. It's just there's the light, and then there's the darkness.
Oh. Okay.
And you fight.
All right.
If that's like it to its most simplest form.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of lore, a lot of back lore, meaning like to play it, you don't have to know all this stuff. But if you want to know it, there's books and books and books and websites and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's kind of like an Overwatch thing. If you are a longtime player, you want to see these characters and this lore kind of played out and expanded on. I think there's plenty of room for it, even if just some novelizations.
I'm gonna ask you guys both to answer this question, okay? If in 2 years from now, if a Destiny TV show comes out with the production values, just the look and the budget of that Halo show, let's say it's similar in terms of scope. No, I'm not saying quality. I'm just saying that's what it looks like.
I just make that face anytime somebody says that.
Would you be on board? Would you check out a couple of episodes? Like, are you?
Yeah. I'm always willing to check out a couple episodes, as long as it's not on the service that I have to.
That you don't have.
Extra. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair. All right, let's do the 4th and worst rumor of the week. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick expects mid-generation console upgrades similar to the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, but he doesn't expect them to make an impact on the business very much. I feel like this is a terrible rumor because we've had a million rumors about the PS5 Pro, right?
Yeah.
And then I guess Xbox is going to do one.
It sounds like an opinion piece.
Sounds like an opinion. Does. Yeah, I think that's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
Not this year, obviously. They're not going to announce these this year.
No.
Right? I wouldn't think so. No. But for 2024, I think
I think you have to announce it and release it relatively close to each other. You can't announce it and be like, 18 months from now we're going to do it, because I think that slows sales a little bit.
Yeah. When did they announce the Xbox One X? That was
April 17, I believe.
That was like November very 17th. Early in the year. Yeah.
Oh, announce it.
It. Yeah. It wasn't at E3.
I think it was E3.
It was E3, wasn't it? Because no. They had a Scorpion edition, kind of like, we're working on this thing. It wasn't an announcement. It was kind of like, well, here's a Scorpion edition or Project Scorpion
prototype. Yeah.
And then they announced at E3. It's like, well, this is our Scorpion project, and that's what it was. So,
did they have a sizzle reel? Yeah. Didn't they have a sizzle reel of the developers being like, this thing is like gonna be...
They've done that so many times.
Yeah, right.
This thing will blow your mind, man.
Right. They showed Project Scorpio August.
Scorpio,
20th. Yeah.
What did I say? Scorpion? Yeah.
Same thing. Right?
How many months between reveal and release?
Well, it was the summer of that year. Released
November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so only
I
a few
picked up the
months.
Scorpio edition.
I did
liked
too.
it.
You did.
Yeah.
So I take it if these come out thick, you're interested in it, right?
I'm usually interested
Yeah.
in these. Yeah.
Scott, you're not interested because you already have a beefy PC.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
And what I do is I'm a hypocrite, so I'll say I'm not interested now, but then come time I'll be interested in it.
I think I think it. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just kind of maybe ill-timed or ill-placed right after having such a difficulty getting these things a couple of years ago.
Right.
Right. Which they are pretty much readily available now. I'm starting to see Xbox Series X's in stores now, along with the PlayStation 5. Yeah. So, but yeah, I would say it's probably about time. I would say that if I still was on Xbox, I would be like, yeah, next year I want them to release one and have that upgrade. So
yeah,
it does help.
Yeah, I just know I always think like, what's preventing gaming from getting even better than it currently is, and my mind does not go to like more powerful hardware. That's like the last on my list of like what's preventing great games from happening.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, what would they call
consoles?
The Xbox one. What would they call the Xbox Pro?
Hold your tongue. Wait, say that again, Thick.
That's true. I'm sorry. What did you say?
What would they call the Series X like Pro? Like, would they just call it Pro? Series
X? Yeah, Series XX, Series XXX. I don't know.
Yeah.
God, who knows? I mean, they have just the worst naming scheme.
I would call it Series Scorpio. Series Scorpion
If
X.
they gave them names
Scorpio
like Tiger
too.
and Scorpion, and I mean that would just be that would be
cool.
awesome. No numbers, just Xbox Leopard.
No,
Xbox,
ditch Xbox. Just call it Scorpion.
Just Scorpion. Microsoft Scorpion.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be a weird skew. What are you buying here? What's in this box? Yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. That might be, what if they're announced this year for next year? That's a possibility, you think, maybe?
If they're announced, they're going to get announced in December. So like maybe at the Game Awards
for next
show.
Year. Yeah, maybe somewhere like at the end of the year for next holiday.
You know, that's the Game Awards where they announced the Series X, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a cool announcement.
That was.
I liked it. It was
very
a nice
surprising.
surprise.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, stop with your chamomile tea because we have an exciting big talk for you. Okay.
Well,
Most exciting.
I do have a list of games from Saber Interactive, and I have to kind of go back a little bit because they did make Evil Dead the game.
Was that good?
I think it's fun. It's not stellar. They are making.
Did it just come out? That one just come out a couple years ago?
It came out, last year, late last year.
Okay. It's that multiplayer game, right?
It is. No, well, it's a, what is it, PV, like,
it's like a
4v1.
4v1.
Yeah.
Like Dead by Daylight, yeah.
Right. But they're making Space Marine 2, which is the
They're also
Warhammer
making
game.
new KOTORs, right?
Well, yeah, that's what we were talking about. That's what they were giving. It's not on their.
Okay.
It's not on their list of games, though.
Oh, it isn't.
World War Z Aftermath. They made that as well. I thought that was pretty good, and then some other, other titles.
Well, Space Marine looks competent.
It does.
Yeah.
But nothing on their website that I can see about KOTOR, like future projects or anything like that. So. Moving on. All
right, Thick, take us home with this big talk of yours.
So
I couldn't understand what you're talking about in the Discord, but I think when you use words to my face.
Can I share my screen?
Of course you can.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
thanks for asking.
You know how to.
Okay. Let's see.
Ooh.
Hopefully this so May 21st, 2013, right?
Wow.
When the Xbox One was
10
revealed.
years
Okay.
today.
10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you call it? The PS4 was revealed earlier in the year. I think it was February.
Mm-hmm.
But this was like pretty much kind of like their showcase in a way. This was before their Oh, is it not playing?
Mm-mm.
No, it's playing for me. It's playing for me.
I didn't click on it. Sorry. There we go.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, we don't have to watch. We're not watching the whole thing, right? But
No,
like,
no.
but basically, there's a lot of things happening in it, right? Let's see. Our good pal, was it Don Matrick, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, ads! We got
Oh,
ads.
what? We can't show
Yeah,
that.
but it's okay.
State
It's okay.
Farm.
Yeah. Basically, this was after the
Yeah.
Xbox 360.
Goofball.
Oh, look at that handsome guy, right?
Whatever. Let me wear a suit and be totally disconnected from my entire audience.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you're listening and not watching this, we're watching the reveal of the Xbox One.
Oh yeah, I have to describe it. Yeah.
Right, where Don Matrick's on stage talking about TV, more TV, a little bit of TV, and guess what your Xbox One will do? TV.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I kind of, like, a little hindsight, I kind of see why they did this in a way, but, like, I mean, it's the wrong bet, right? Because, like, everything the Xbox One could do or was supposed to be doing, it's pretty much done in a smart TV now.
Yeah,
well, even
right.
then, this is 2013. It's not 2003. I mean, it was everything you bought at that point was starting to have streaming capabilities. I mean, the Xbox 360, as far as a console, I believe, was the first to do it, right? But
Yeah, it really popularized Netflix. I remember there was, like, a time in the 360 era where, like, you were basically, like, it was kind of like after, like, a bunch of good games came out, there was, like, maybe a slight drought, but that's where I felt like people were just nonstop talking about Netflix and how it was on their Xbox.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say, at that time I bought another Xbox for the bedroom because it was cheaper than upgrading my TV or getting and just a little bit more than getting like a Roku or something, at that time.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't really a lot of options then, but there were options, But this is the part, and this is my where were you on May 23rd May 21st on 2013?
Yeah.
When I saw this presentation, for one thing, it was TV. It was all about TV,
Yeah.
TV, and then it was all about Connect. Which I had a Connect, but for my kids, they played Connect games on it. I never used the Connect. I mean,
I think at this point we didn't know whether Connect was optional or not at this point.
Yeah, and I was on my 360
Watching this?
Yeah, with some friends of mine. And we were all three of us were kind of like, what is this? What is this?
Well, what did you think about the design of the box back then?
I thought it was huge. I thought it
It
was.
was huge,
We
yeah.
expected it to be smaller and sleeker, and this looked like a VCR.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe it was going for, right?
Yeah. Especially, and of course, the always on, and then they had this. Now it's not that big a deal, but back then it was like, okay, so you put a disc in, and you download the license on your Xbox. So now you own that game or the license for the game, much like you would any other game. But the difference is that you couldn't take that disc and give it to a friend or sell it or trade it in. It was like kind of a one and done. So basically what it did is it downloaded the license off that disc and the game, just like it does digitally, and it's yours to keep forever. And that was, as far as physical media, that was not going over well at all. Not with me either. This is at the point where I was looking up how much, have they released the price for the PS4 yet, and where can I pre-order one?
Oh.
This was
remember-
before any price announcement.
Right.
I just remember like they were doing all these things, and everyone was just like, well, what benefit is it to me? Right?
Yeah.
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 Like there are all these like limitations and like new rules, and it's like, oh, none of them make the thing more fun to like the core audience.
No, not at all. And if you had a cable box, it's already doing that. If you had a satellite box, it's already doing that.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
almost felt like they needed two, of these showcases. One just to focus on the gaming aspect, and then
That's kind of what they did, actually.
They did at E3. It was all about the games.
But maybe I'm thinking like maybe you start with the game so
they should have.
Yeah,
they definitely
really
should
have.
Or at least balanced it a little bit more, because this one, was not a good showing.
Yeah. Do you remember how much longer it was until E3?
It's like, what, 2 weeks later, right?
Yeah,
was that
close? It was
close?
2 weeks, yeah. Oh. This felt more like this didn't feel like they were talking to people that wanted an Xbox. This looks like something you would have for investors. Everybody wore a suit, no ties, but everybody was in a suit.
Yeah.
Which, if you notice, Phil Spencer does not wear a suit like ever.
Yeah, that's fine. Phil looks pretty young in this one.
Yeah, he is. This is before he aged greatly. Took the whole thing over, and
that's what happens when you take over such a difficult brand, right?
Puts a little weight on you and puts some age on you.
Yeah.
Here he is right here. Wearing a sweater.
Wow, looks like James Bond.
I know.
Yeah, right? he's like a handsome fella right there.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Young, vibrant, talking about the new games and
wow.
Yeah. It's I don't know, it's kind of sad. This is where it's like the more they talked, the more it was like, please stop. Please just stop talking about this.
There wasn't much, like, I guess, substance really to this announcement, aside from revealing the hardware, the way it looked.
Yeah, and the stats and everything.
Yeah.
And it especially, I think we already had the specs on the PS4 at this time, right? I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I don't either. I remember a discussion about it. Oh, and this is where you can go to this part. This is where they announced the Halo TV show in 2013. It took 9 years to come out.
Took a while.
There's Bonnie Ross.
She definitely aged too.
Yeah, she's 10 years. Guys, when you get older, 10 years is a lot. It puts a lot of age on you. But, and then they even had, at this point, this is when Steven Spielberg was involved in the TV show, because he was a huge Halo fan.
And then he made that game where you tip over the towers.
I
remember that game. You shoot stuff at like Jenga towers, and
I kind of remember it was a Wii game, right?
Yeah, it was a Wii. I think it was a Wii game.
Yeah,
can't remember what it was called though.
Well, that was his studio that he made, DreamWorks Studios or something like that. There he is.
Oh.
Yeah, he's looking young too, isn't it? And
10 years since the launch, basically, right?
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys this: Scott, what was the first console that you bought during this generation? The Xbox One and the PS4.
Oh, it was PS4.
So that was the first one you purchased, and then later you bought the.
Yeah,
you did.
I bought it launch day. I was happy to do it after this presentation. Yeah.
And Thick, what about you?
Voting with your money.
Exactly.
Yeah. I didn't buy anything at launch, actually. When I saw this, I was like, oh no. What are you doing, Xbox? But I was like, to be honest, I was just waiting it out. Honestly, like whatever was shown on PS4, I did not have interest in the launch lineup. Yeah. At that point, I wasn't someone that would just buy it at launch. I wanted to see what
you
else
wanted them to earn your money.
Yeah, I wanted to see games, not like just
TV.
half steps, right? And TV, right?
Yeah.
So I was just mostly on PC. I think I was playing a lot of League of Legends, if I recall.
This was the generation where I felt like Titanfall was the first, like, oh, that's kind of like a next gen S game, right? Was that?
Yeah. But it wasn't a launch title. Yeah.
No, it came out a few months, 6 months, a year later, right?
6 months, I think. Yeah.
6 months. Yeah.
I think. This was talking about the reveal of Call of Duty Ghosts.
Yeah, with the dog.
Yeah.
Which was terrible as well.
Yeah, this was not a great launch game.
This was the last Xbox launched Call of Duty game. After this game, it went to the ad contract or whatever, and went to PlayStation. And another thing that went to PlayStation, one thing for me, as far as like a decision, with every Halo game at E3, Joe Staten would come out with a controller and he'd go, "Hey, this is our new Halo game. Check it out. I'm going to play this." And he'd make a couple of jokes, and it was exciting. And to see him come out on stage to show Destiny holding a PlayStation 4 controller.
Oh yeah, that
to me also was kind of like, what's going on at Xbox? Why are they? and I mean they were at that point they had signed with Activision, so they weren't tied to any console.
And also Bungie had like issues with Microsoft itself, so
there was when they wanted to go independent, and I think that was problematic for Microsoft, and they were making it hard for them to leave. Rightly so, but that wouldn't happen today. But it was a different Microsoft. It was a Don Matrick Microsoft. So,
guys, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
All right. So the start of the 360 generation, like that first 5 years went amazing for Microsoft. I guess outside of Red Ring of Death, right?
Right.
Yeah, outside of that.
But I think that they outsold PlayStation that gen. And then I remember at the end of the gen. Wait, didn't they both sell around 85?
At the end of it,
outselling for a while, but then PlayStation
eventually, eventually.
But overall, it was a huge success for Microsoft because to go from the original Xbox to the 360,
they were killing it
in terms of market share. Yeah. Here's my question though. I feel like at the end of the 360 generation, they started axing all their studios. Right?
No, not necessarily.
At what point did they become a Halo, Forza, Gears? Like, that's what Xbox is, Halo, Forza, Gears.
They kind of were already that during the 360 lifespan, right? But they had they lost Bungie, and then they also, I guess Epic didn't want to continue doing Gears, so that was one of the big changes to those two franchises.
And that happened near the end?
Yeah.
That happened, kind of at the same time.
Yeah. I feel like at some point they had between 5 and 7 first-party studios under their umbrella, and I'm like, why is that happening under the Xbox 360 gen, which was a successful gen?
Well, I don't think those studios are really what made the 360 so great. Not that it didn't help. I mean, you had
It's a combination
Halo 3,
of everything, right?
You had Halo 3 was a huge success. Gears was
Xbox Live
launched
was
on the
good.
360. All Gears at that point were all on the 360.
Yeah.
But you also had the third party. Call of Duty played better on the 360. And it had
Skyrim.
BioShock. Yeah, you had some games that just ran really poorly on the PlayStation 3. Skyrim was another one. What's that?
That was because of PlayStation's choice with the cell processor.
It was horrible to develop for, and
they corrected course. Yeah, they corrected course with 4.
Yeah, they really did. But yeah, that's it was performing better on the 360, and then the 360 once they introduced the Kinect, it sold really, really well. I mean, it just EA was. I think they had the ad contract for Madden, I think, if I remember correctly. So you were getting like exclusive content on the 360 before you were getting it on PlayStation. So that was really what helped them win that generation. I don't care how many they sold. I think it was a win because they definitely, a lot of the games were, you knew that, you wanted to get a 360 because it was going to play better on a 360.
Yeah.
Right. It was just so interesting to have such a strong generation, and then they just came out limping with the generation we're watching right now, right?
I think it was a sum of everything, right? Like PlayStation learned everything that went wrong with PS3 and fixed it, where Xbox basically is going the opposite direction.
Way.
Yeah, especially at that E3, you saw the PlayStation 4 came out and it was the exact opposite of what the Xbox One was.
Yeah.
It wasn't, they didn't mention TV at all. It was like, what's his name? Jack Tretton. That was his launch. He did a fantastic job. It's a game machine. You put your game in it. You play games. We designed this as a game box. We designed this as the new PlayStation. It's easy to develop for. It runs games better. We redesigned the controller. We got a lot of developers on board early, like Bungie, for one, to sign these contracts and get this exclusivities and the exclusive content. There was some stuff in Destiny that you couldn't get on Xbox for 2 years. And then what happened in 2 years? Well, Destiny 2 came out. So it's like, hey, here's the new Destiny. Here's your stuff that came out 2 years ago. So they lost those deals, and they losing that momentum.
Yeah.
Was all on Don Matrick. He weighed heavily on the Kinect because it was selling really well. But at the time in 2012, 2013, the sale for the Kinect was already declining, and they banked heavily into the next Kinect and heavily into TV.
Yeah,
and
that's probably years of development on
years
that
of
sort
development.
Of thing too.
Yeah, it's not something that could have been undone. Really until the Xbox Series X and S. It really hurt them. Well, I'd say that probably the Xbox One X, but
yeah.
And
that's Phil Spencer right there, the One X.
Yeah, Phil Spencer. One of the first things that Phil Spencer did when he took over, he's like, okay, cut the Kinect. It's not a requirement to buy it. Drop the price in it. We're trashing it.
Right.
Sales for the Xbox One started to go up at that point.
That's actually the point when I started to be interested again. Actually, like I wanted to play Destiny. I was playing on my friend's PS4, but I did not. I did not like the controller as much.
Yeah.
You know me. So I went with the Xbox One version, and that's actually what I mostly played when I got my Xbox One.
Yeah, which oddly enough played parallel. It was both 1080p, both 30 frames per second, both solid frame rates. It was like one of the only games that actually played the exact same way on both consoles at 1080p. Because most of the time on the Xbox One, it was 720 or even lower.
900.
Right, or 900. Variable, much like Call of Duty did. But yeah, for me too, I bought one in 2015 because, of course, the price drop, no Kinect, and it came with the Master Chief Collection. So, being a huge Halo
was that
fan,
near launch, or was that like a couple years after?
That was, I think it actually launched in early 2015. It's asking me about the stream. Yeah, whatever. Okay, good. Whatever.
We're good? Okay.
So that came out. I don't really remember when. I know when it was in March of 2015. I think when they made the bundle, and I bought it in July. I want to say, because I wanted to play Halo 5. And how you play Halo 5, you got to have an Xbox One. So, but then after that, things were getting a lot better for it. I love the controller. I pretty much ditched the PS4 at that point. And, the rest is history.
Here we are.
Here we are.
And then I ditched consoles altogether last year, and I'm on PC. So, but yeah, that's my story of the Xbox One, and it's much like a lot of people. The people that I was in an Xbox Live party watching this thing with, we all bought PS4s at launch, and we played together, played Destiny together. But we all three came back to Xbox. It's weird.
I'm going to try to shift gears here a little bit, and I want to ask you a question. So I always do my research. I always try to watch thick nose.
I know.
I always try to watch podcasts that are like maybe our competitors, like low popularity podcasts.
Right.
There's 1 million Xbox podcasts out there. 1 million. There is like 3 PlayStation podcasts out there.
Yeah.
What makes Xbox players want to make a podcast? I really find this interesting. It is not 50-50.
I would say my theory is, like, the media doesn't really give Xbox a unbiased voice, really, in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
think that's common knowledge. Yeah.
Do you think this is a potential reason? I feel like PlayStation, a lot of single player gamers kind of go in that direction, and Xbox was always the multiplayer console. Like, if you want to get together with your friends on the Halo, and it's like we got a party chat. It was more of a social console. So do you feel like the social people went to Xbox, and then the social people create a social podcast? But do you feel like
there's potential for that? I would say that I prefer multiplayer on Xbox. I do not like okay, so I've actually owned Overwatch 1 on all 3 platforms, right? Or actually all 4 at this point. And the place I least like to play it is Switch and PlayStation. It's just I don't like playing with the people there. It's something about it, like
It's
maybe
the people. It's the people.
I can back that up. Playing Destiny on PlayStation was not as enjoyable as playing on Xbox.
Wait, let's unpack this a little bit. What are you talking about? I get preferring the controller over the other, but now you're saying the people are different.
Yeah, the people are different.
Okay.
Explain this. Explain
with
it.
the 360 too, like whoever is the most popular platform, you attract the most like kids in a way, right?
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, so I would say that's part of it.
Oh,
So it feels a little less hardcore. So like and
I can
More
see that.
like
kinda
mainstream, like casual. Yeah.
And this was a problem with the 360 too. I had. So I mean, so that's
A lot
why
of kids on it.
Yeah.
All right, that's reasonable. I thought you were both nuts for a second there.
I mean, like yeah, this is just like a kind of like edge cases in a way, right?
Yeah.
Because there's good players on all platforms.
Right. All right, I gotcha. That's fair. That's fair.
Maybe it's just not necessarily the platform, but the game you're playing.
Yeah, that could
Right.
be true.
Yeah.
Right.
If it's multi-plat.
And then if we're done, I do have one more question to close the show up. Do we want to hear the question, or are we going to continue?
Should I hear it? I don't know.
All right. Here's the question. You can only watch one showcase this year: PlayStation Showcase or the Xbox Showcase. Which one are you choosing and why?
Go ahead, Thick.
I think you know my answer.
Is it the Xbox Showcase?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know PlayStation's going to show off what they usually show, and with the high.
No, you just said words that I'm just like, well, who is this person talking to me? Because this to me strikes the strongest pivot in the history of the company. Right?
Really?
But
do you mean like their live service? Yeah, I am interested in seeing that.
yeah,
because it is a quiet year, but I honestly I don't see like they're not going to drop the ball or anything. PlayStation isn't at the point where they're going to drop the ball.
yeah.
Like this, they're not riding on this one showcase for like the whole brand. Like in a way, Xbox has a lot more to lose. So I'm interested to see them. Like what can they do?
Let me explain. Let me explain it to Nate so he'll understand.
Okay.
So it's a boxing match, right? Okay.
Oh, I'm in.
So,
Yeah.
Okay. So the one that you came to see is just beating the crap out of this other guy, right? And he's got him on the ropes, and he's just like you could just see he's like, oh, this guy's just gonna fall over. Ding! The bell goes off. Okay, so they go to the corner. So he's in his corner. The popular guy is just like he's like ready to go, right?
The guy that's winning is saying that.
He's just sitting in his corner. He's like, I'm ready. Just hit that bell, and I'm gonna end it right here. The other guy is over in the other. He's sitting on his bench. And he's just looking at this guy like, I don't know if I want to continue. I don't know if I want to do this, right? So who are you watching? At that point, you're not watching the guy that you came to see. You're watching this other guy, and you're looking for that spark. You're looking at that guy like, is he going to get up and is he going to come back? Is he just messing with them? What's going on here? What is going through that guy's head? And then and then you hear the bell, and then they go into the ring. I think a lot of people are wanting to see what Xbox is bringing to the table at this show because this one actually matters. This one it's not going to write their destiny. It's not going to be a win or lose situation, but I think it kind of feels like, okay, you had this 12-month thing about these games that are coming out in 12 months, and only 2 of them made it. Then one of them was terrible. Your ABK deal is not gone through yet. And we're on the cusp of getting one of the biggest games of the year.
And it has to be good.
And it's got to be good, and it better have a 60 FPS on console. So I think a lot of people are just wanting to see that. And that's why I'm wanting to see it. I want to see what they've got. I want to see what they're bringing to the table. I want to see if they're going to make a huge mistake because now there's a rumor that they're going to start putting ads in games on Game Pass.
Like on billboards in driving games?
No, like an actual ad. Like when you watch
Hulu, stop playing. Here's 30 seconds of ad.
Well, probably like the beginning of the game. Like when you start a game, instead of starting the game, it's just going to make you watch an ad before the game starts.
And it'd be cheaper. It'd be cheaper Game Pass, right? $7 Game Pass.
No.
With ads?
No, they're
just
put
do
ads
that
in
to
the
the
games.
existing one. That's game over.
Yeah, they can't do that to
exactly.
They can't do that. They can't do that.
It's not so much an ad. It's what Sarah Bond had said in an interview that they were, kind of practicing that or seeing how that's.
Thick. Are you with me? The only way they can do that is offering like Game Pass Lite, $7 a month with ads.
Yeah,
because
that.
All streaming services have like even YouTube. I pay a little extra for YouTube just to not watch ads.
Like we just saw.
Right. Exactly. Hint. No. but yeah, are they going to do that? Are they going to announce that? Are they going to? I mean, what? It's just. It's killing me to see if this is going to be like that one, like off show. I said what I wanted out of the show. I want Phil Spencer. Nobody is in competition with PlayStation. You realize that, right? So their show really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're going to sell anyway, and you know that, Nate. You know that. Nick knows it. I know it. Everybody knows it.
Let me counter.
It doesn't matter. But nobody is in competition with PlayStation on that front. Even Microsoft just said we're not in competition with Sony. I want them to be in competition with Sony. I want someone to be in competition with Sony. I want Phil Spencer to come out. I want to take his leather jacket off, throw it on the floor, say F Sony, check out these games, rock music, pyrotechnics, bam, and have like the best show they've ever had.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen. That's what I want to happen. But it's not.
A couple of minutes ago, I said, "Oh, you guys aren't crazy." I apologize. I said, "Oh, you're crazy." Oh, no, you're not crazy. Now I'm gonna back up on it. You both are crazy. All right, because let me tell you what you've just done. All right, you've personified. There's like a term in poetry, not in poetry, in literature, where you personify an object.
Right.
Scott just turned it into a boxing match. He just turned it into Rocky 2.
It's a fight, right?
Yeah, it's a fight. Now, he cannot be doing this because it doesn't make any logical sense, right?
No, and you're right, it doesn't, because they're not in competition with each other. But
no, I think they are. I think they are in competition.
Well, PlayStation is obviously in direct competition with Xbox. I mean, they implement everything they do, for better or for worse. Everything Xbox done, PlayStation comes right behind them and does the same thing. Xbox does it, it's terrible. When PlayStation does it, it's the greatest thing ever. So, with that, Microsoft is like this. It's just what the perception of Microsoft right now is. They are the underdog, whether you like them or not.
That's true.
That's what people want to see, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm just throwing my own thing in there because
I love it.
I don't care if Xbox is not in direct competition with Sony. I want somebody to be. That's good for everybody. If they have, PlayStation would not be where they are if they were not in competition with Xbox. They wouldn't be. Yeah. So where's Microsoft getting their inspiration? Where are they? Whose picture is on the dartboard in their boardroom? You know what I'm saying? There isn't one. There needs to be. They need to be. I want that, first Xbox 360 Microsoft again, so that everything is better. And that's what this show kind of seems like it's counting on. It's like, which way are they going to go from here? And that's what makes it matter.
I want to counter you with 2 points, okay?
Go ahead.
Really, what these two shows are, it's all the companies that released games in 2018, 2019, and maybe even 2020. Mm-hmm. All those games during that year, we're about to see their new games, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I guess I look at it like it's a much slower version of chess than. It's not a boxing match. It's not like a quick boxing match. It's like
no.
We're moving two warships slowly.
Right.
So I don't feel like an event like this is like a end of the world thing, right? It's just
no
like
one's going to sink.
Xbox
is not going to
No.
disappear. It's going to be disappointing. Yeah, sure. There'll be the usual fallout, and media will just gobble it all up. But you know, I mean, Xbox can weather the storm. It's just how much longer, right?
Yeah, they have trillions of dollars. They're going to be fine. I mean, it's not like it's it's just for me it's the spectacle. I want to get my popcorn and I want to see what happens.
Well, hey, and I'll say with you, I'm interested in I love seeing who the internet thinks won, right? Because that's fun. That's the most boxing match. Yeah. What's that?
Yeah, it's fun. Although we already know who.
Most the media. Yeah, we know who won with the media. Yeah, it's
well. All right, let me do my second counter to you. I feel like the industry now. So you two are definitely crazy. I've established that, but I might be crazy for saying this. I feel like the industry has found gold. Like you remember, back in the day when everyone's using horse and carriage.
Yeah,
and then they found oil. And oil changes the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So then it became a race for oil, not a race for horses and grass and fences. Right.
Yeah.
We're in the era of the 10-year game, the 10+ year game. We're in the era of the Minecraft, the Fortnite, the GTA Online. Right.
Roblox.
The Roblox.
Right.
Yeah. So I feel like we're about to see the pivot to who's making the games that matter. Right. So if I see a bunch of hi-fi rushes at either show, these games that are farts in the wind, I think that's bad news for whatever company. If I see a few games that look oh my gosh, that game could be relevant in 10 years from now, then I that's what I'm clued in on, right?
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm more interested in PlayStations is because I feel like they've kind of made that pivot in that direction a little bit earlier than Microsoft has. I don't know how many live service games Microsoft has at this point, but it doesn't seem like they're as aggressive towards that direction as Sony is, right?
They're not being aggressive with anything. That's the problem. And that's, you see so many people that's on PlayStation says they just need to quit. Just need to go to business. You really don't want that. You don't want to see the Sony that does not have, that feels like they don't have any competition.
Right.
It will not look good for anybody.
Right.
But I see what you're saying. You want to see what the future is and what they're bringing to the table as far as how it's going to change the landscape of gaming. And that's if games are the new platform, I want to see 4 platform games from Sony. I want to see 4 platform games from Xbox. Yeah. Now, I just think who is more likely to release or to show off 4 platform games? I think it's Sony at this point. Yeah. That's why I'm more excited, right? Yeah.
Because I feel like Xbox has already done a good deal of that with their own games. They're not free to play.
No, but which, I guess they have Minecraft, right?
Yeah, Minecraft. Yeah, and, they pretty much have exclusive on Roblox in a way.
Is Roblox on Xbox?
It's on Windows and Xbox.
Okay,
and
all right.
Console. Yeah.
I guess you're right. Those games count, but for us, they don't count for me because I'm not interested in those games. I care about the new breeds of those games.
Yeah, and I feel like this probably your prediction is that they might do the Halo BR release or whatever. T'Chaka, right?
That's true.
Takana,
that's true.
Tataka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's even Everwild. I'm actually, if Everwild makes a reappearance and we kind of see the new direction of the game, I'm totally clued in on that. I don't think it will happen, right?
Well, yeah, that seems like troubled development right there. But
right.
Well, they rebooted it. The guy that developed it, or I guess had all the ideas, left. Rare.
That's not a good sign.
So they rebooted it. I expect that game to get canceled.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's just you can't show games that early. Here's a concept of an idea we made just 5 minutes ago.
Right.
It's again, this is part of why it feels pivotal for someone that has bought into the Xbox ecosystem.
Yeah.
Here's the games that come out in 12 months and everything. Okay, all this stuff.
Right.
It's like I just said. Okay, there's some main titles that we know about. Perfect Dark, Avowed, whatever the Coalition is working on. Hopefully, a Master Chief. I mean, like a Gears
Marcus
collection.
Phoenix.
A Marcus Phoenix collection on PC as well. Come on. And then we've got Obsidian is also working on another game, and then Fable. I don't think we're going to see any of these games. I mean, they might show something of it, but I don't think any of these games are close enough to really. This is what I think is going to happen. They're going to have their Starfield thing, which is separate, but it's not really separate. It's like right before it or whatever. They're banking everything on Starfield. After that, we're going to get a release date for Forza. Yeah. Which is great. I mean, I love Forza.
Rumored October.
Right, which would be perfect for them. And then we're going to get a showcase of a lot of little indie titles that are coming to Game Pass, which is cool. You know, they support indie titles. And then we're going to get somebody's going to come out and talk about Avowed. Somebody's going to come out and talk about Fable, but they're not really going to show much of anything. Yeah, and then at the
Hellblade could be big. Yeah.
At the end, we're going to get they're going to show Hellblade 2 again and possibly get a release date, which is not going to be this year. It's probably going to be like March of 2024.
Yeah. You know, I think we're doing our predictions right now.
I think I was watching you as Scott was reading.
Well, don't you see it too? I mean, it's not. Yeah. There's no way they're going to come out and go, Avowed's coming out in November. No. Yeah. Fable will be out in next year. No. I don't think any of these titles are ready. State of Decay 3.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping on.
Yeah, they just released a huge patch for State of Decay 2 that changes the whole gameplay. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to check it. Yeah.
I'm gonna go probably play that again. So,
they're a sleeper studio. I feel like people need to be watching out for them.
I don't know. Every rumor I've heard is their studio is just in complete turmoil. So
that could be. Yeah. Okay, I see.
And again, this might be another one of those. Hey, we bought all those studios. Here, have a bunch of money. Have as much time as you want to make this game. Bye. Just we'll check back in with you maybe later. And then, that's like the teacher leaving the room.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't know. It's just they need to come out swinging, and they need to do it soon. And if they tell their customers again, wait till next year, their numbers are going to start sliding. It really is.
Did you guys see the Xbox Era podcast? What's his name? Special Nick. Did you see what he said? I think today or yesterday.
He tweeted about it. It's probably the same thing. What is it?
He said something on his show. I think he said he's certain that all the outlets are going to score Starfield a 7 to an 8.5 because they want clicks, like outrage clicks.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, to me, that sounded insane. Because it sounds like he's like damage controlling. He's like, see, it only got a 78.
Yeah.
What did I tell you?
I mean, honestly, I don't care if it gets a 78
I don't
or something.
either. Yeah. I don't care what it scores. I mean, I form my own opinions by playing it.
Right. That's true. That's true.
But
I just feel like the way he's framing it is like, if people don't think it's good, it's only because they're anti-Xbox. It's not because like the game's not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some people that like to do that, but I think there is a bias against Xbox, but I think most people are fair. Most people.
Right.
I think a lot of individuals are fair. I think a lot of the main websites are. Yeah, I think their reviews are just based on clicks and not necessarily how you should purchase a game.
Yeah.
Or even so, they'll do a review. They'll do a review of it, and no matter if it's good or bad, then they'll have like 14 articles afterwards about how it made me feel and how this. This is like, should they have left this in here? And so I mean, they'll just milk it. They don't have to do that with PlayStation. Because when they release like something like a God of War or a Last of Us, they stamp a 10 on it, and it's a non-conversation. There's no controversy there. There's nothing. They'll make the clicks making guides for God of War or things like that. But like you said, Nate, it's being controversial about a PlayStation game doesn't get clicks. Being controversial about an Xbox game is like, well, here's the redemption. Here's my fuel that hates Xbox. You just click on it, click, and then they know how to run those numbers, and they.
To me, I hated that quote so much because it to me it just like struck me as like everything awful with media. Like even in politics, if an event happens in politics, both sides say, "See, it's because we were right."
Yeah.
I'm like, you're looking at the same picture.
Right. He's doing the exact thing he's saying is going to be done to the. I mean, you can't do that. You can't preemptively be stupid about.
If Starfield gets a 94, he's going to be like, "I told you guys, I told you it'd be a
amazing good game." Right.
Yeah, and then if it gets a 72, he's going to be like, "See, I told you it's a great game, but they just don't want the. They don't want the. He's setting up a win-win for him, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's buying into what we just said. It's like they're just wanting you to come to their site and read it.
Yeah, I know. I clicked on it too. I fell for it.
Good, they got you.
We have to click on it because we have to know what we're talking about. But
this is our profession, right? This is our profession. Yeah. We take it seriously.
I use an anonymous account. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but you just I've said it before. The main outlets, if that's where you want to get your reviews, and if that's where you want to base your purchases on for games, that's fine. Yeah. But you actually don't know who's writing those articles. If you go to an outlet much like YouTube, like we're on, not that we should be the authority on it, but find some people that you agree with that like the same kind of games that you do, and see what they think about it. It's not. They're going to be more. Well, not all of them, but most of them are. They're in it for themselves. They don't have to answer to somebody. Yeah. They want to get the clicks. Obviously, you want to see the review, but it doesn't do them any service to just trash a game because everybody else does.
Right. Right. Thick, I think it's going to be a good few podcasts we have upcoming. Did you see the energy coming from Scott? He was radiating passion.
Yeah, very
and energy.
Yeah. That's hold on. There we go. I like it.
All right. Well, this is not our 24-hour podcast. We have to end this one, all right?
Yep.
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah, the charity will have to go on.
That's right. So, Scott, you tell our listeners how they can interact with this show. How can they find us?
Well, we are on YouTube on our podcast. The Supply Drop Podcast YouTube. Leave a comment below. Hit the like button. Subscribe. And ring that bell. It'll let us know when you get a new one. And we're also on Twitter. Pod Drop. So check us out there as well. Follow us. Right. Yeah, leave us a comment and let us know how we're doing.
Yeah. All right. And then at the end of the show, Thick always tries to take us to the school of life. He always takes us there.
And more or less. It's always like a dark quote I have.
That's
I gotta find something.
Not always. Always.
Okay. Here it goes.
I mean, yeah.
Even the most righteous will fall given the right push in the wrong direction.
Ooh.
That was a little... I don't like that one.
That's from Diablo.
Oh. So that's dark.
Click in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I got to find something more positive.
Right.
Yeah. You disappointed me this week, Thick.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I liked it.
All right. That's going to do it for us this week. We're going to see everyone on Monday.
Yep.
All right. See you
Adios,
guys.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye.